Okay, I'm going to talk about how Charleston could possibly flood if the Atlantic Ocean rises. The number one reason why Charleston could flood is because Charleston is located in the lower part of South Carolina in the Atlantic coastal region. It's located down in the bottom part of the United States, and it only sits at about 20 feet above sea level. And the thing is with Charleston, is especially in the downtown region, is that there is a wall that separates the harbor from downtown, which is the South Battery of Charleston. And it's that part that everybody sees with the big houses and the palm trees and all that stuff. But the thing is about that is that since there's only that wall separating, it's possible for the oceans to rise enough that it could flood the whole entire downtown and possibly cause a lot of damage to the downtown region. And one of the number of ways that this could happen is by excess rainfall. If it rains enough, the oceans usually will rise and they will come over into the street. Because my aunt lives there and she has lived there for about 20 years now. And there was a flood a few years ago, and I asked her about all this, and she said that the oceans rose so high up that it spilled over into downtown, and there was about 2 to 3 feet of water that just covered the whole downtown area. And Charleston isn't much above the sea level, so it doesn't take much water at all in order for it to flood. And another way that Charleston could flood is by hurricanes. And it has flooded in the past, especially from Hurricane Hugo that hit in 1989. My mom and dad went down there right after it had happened, and they also went down there right before it happened. And when they came back, my dad, he told me that most of the downtown area was just nothing but water damage, and there was just a lot of debris, and it was from the Atlantic Ocean rising. But if one day a big enough hurricane, Category 5, or let's say for instance if there was an earthquake off somewhere and it caused a tsunami, Charleston would completely flood. When cities like that sit above sea level, in a very short amount, such as 20 feet, even 30 feet, if you have a lot of water come in, it doesn't take much to flood the whole area. And especially Charleston having a lot of those older buildings and older structures, they can be easily damaged. And I talked to my aunt about a lot of the other things, with storms and stuff, and she said that if they have, for instance, bad weather, or if they have a tropical storm that, they'll get a lot of rainfall. She said that she'll be downtown, and she said the waters will only be 2 to 3 feet at the edge of that wall from overflowing into the city. And a lot of people don't, they don't think about, places like that flood. They don't think about that water could rise above that wall, and they don't think that, they don't understand how much damage water can actually cause, because if water were to spill over into that city, it would possibly destroy everything in it. And and that causes people to evacuate, and it costs a lot of money to rebuild and repair. And a lot of people, they don't understand that, and they don't look at it that way, that the city could be in danger if the waters were to rise enough. And especially down there in that area, they have a lot of rainfall because it is warmer climate. And down there it's they have a lot of storms that come through in the spring and in the summer, and especially in the summertime, because that's when they have a lot of their there's a lot of tourists down there. And so if they get heavy enough rainfall with all the tourists, that could be devastating for everybody. It could ruin vacations. It would cost the city a lot of money to rebuild, and especially in the fall time during the hurricane season. There's numerous amounts of hurricanes that come up the Atlantic coast, and it's important that places like Charleston be prepared in case for there is extreme flooding, in order to protect the city, protect the citizens, and protect everything in it. It's also important to take precautions and to make sure that everything is to be taken care of. But also the thing is with Charleston and these waters is that it would happen very quickly, and a lot of people would not expect it to happen, because heavy rainfall can happen in a very short amount of time. The rain comes quickly like that. What it does is it causes the sea levels to rise very fast, and then it spills over into the streets, and it puts a lot of people in danger and a lot of people at risk for injuries. And so that is exactly the reason why it is possible for Charleston to flood.